Question 4 of 5, I believe. Would love to hear your opinion on a career as a thought leader. I don't think he's trolling. What the hell? The type of people that gather at mass following create cool shit and talk about profound or cutting edge philosophies in their field. I dare say you are a modern day thought leader for your following on various subjects, including economics, education, job market, salary. You know what? We just called, if anything, they're called philosophers, or you just had conversation. Maybe you were called independent minded, but like sanitation engineer is a euphemism for garbage man. Thought leader is a euphemism for what I do. And I'll give you a real simple breakdown formula to what it means to be a thought leader. You choose one or two things. You either speak very uncomfortable, bold, brash truths, which is what I do, or you tell incredibly sweet tasting lies, usually themed around traits that people have, because that way they don't have to work for it. You know, oh, I got that for plumbing. Okay. How they're oppressed or how they're entitled to other people's money. And if you come up with new ways to essentially rationalize theft, to essentially rationalize socialism, that's another way. There's other ways to be, quote, a thought leader, but there really isn't that much thought that goes into one of them. And the other one is just speaking truth. And I think I just cut myself here, scratching it. All right. I'm not a thought leader. I'm not... I'm not a particularly great economist. I just had the balls to say, your house isn't worth that much. And in 1998 to say, those .coms are going to go belly up. Not too long ago, don't major in stupid shit. And to tell other people, you don't have kids you can't afford, then you won't be poor. There won't be wage gaps. And to tell women, stop majoring in stupid shit and you close the way. This is not genius. This is just a kid who has the ability to say the emperor has no clothes. I'm an intellectual person that loves to spend my time studying shit that interests me. I know there's truth in pounding on a craft for 10 to 20 years of forging wisdom. I also think there's truth in knowing just enough knowledge to be deadly. So in saying that, obviously after 20 years of studying a subject, you have a lot of expertise under you, but I also don't think I should necessarily wait years and years to start producing content and gathering a following. I'd start by maybe just reviewing books in the field until I grow a following and could develop independent thought on the subject. Okay, here's something that's legitimate, and here's something that's true. You don't even need to be a thought leader. You don't need to be, like I said, I've given you the formula. It's very simple. You don't need to spend 20. Now, if you want to do like real presentation work, you'd have to, on quantum physics, you'd have to study for 20 years. But just to get a following, you just need personality. And you don't need a good personality at all. I mean, look at me or Stexenhammer 666 or the economics. There's like some really dry, droll guys out there and gals. Everybody has a unique personality, and you will attract a unique group of friends. Now, in the olden days, your friends had to be within a 100-mile radius. And so you'd not find that many people that gravitate towards you. Now, with 6 billion people on the internet, you will find your congregation. You will find your cult. I have found my copycats, lieutenants, economists, and agents in the field. And for whatever fucked up reason, they think I'm a funny guy. And so this is when people ask me for advice. Ironically, say, should I start a podcast? Should I start a YouTube? Should I write? I'm like, hell yeah, go ahead. Do it now. But whatever you do, don't be anybody else. You got to be yourself, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the ass to go in and act every day. And you will find people that you really like. You'll find the O'Shea Jacksons. You'll find the great ones. You'll find the Adam Pigots. You'll find the Rule Zero guys. You'll find Hanyakers like TJ and Rob Says and Jack Napier. You'll find the Rooshes. You'll find the Bernard. You'll find a bunch of freaks and weirdos, but you know what? They will gravitate to one another, and you will find your group. And so, and another thing, hopefully it's on a hobby you like that you get to talk about. And then you got a hobby that you get paid. Now it's going to take a while. You get a following, but if you do good, hard, regular work, yeah, you can. But it's not being an expert, and that's not a thought leader. Just knowing a particular niche really well and talk. Look at the world-class bullshitters. I don't think they studied 10 years to become geeks. There's just a bunch of guys like geekery and they hang out. People like them. So you want to do book reviews? Fine, do it. Once I cross the I know enough to be deadly threshold in a subject, why not start trying to make that sweet, sweet money? I would do a PhD if someone paid for it, but my goal is mainly entrepreneurship. I'm thinking things when applicable, like YouTube, commentary, blog, write books, sell merch, make mini documentary, do public speaking, do consulting, as well as practice my craft. Please evaluate my areas of interest and rate them all plausible, respectable, monetize, and be as a thought leader in each. All right, you didn't listen to me. You're not listening to me. You think each of the, Aaron, you do the work and tell me which one's most profitable. You're missing it. It's not these topics. It's who you are and whether you will consistently produce work and content or not. Okay. I am not a big guy on the internet, but you don't need to be a Joel Osteen to run a church. Okay. You get by 500 followers, 500 congregants, and shoot, that'll pay for a freaking building with heating costs and real costs. A digital church metaphor, a digital club, you don't need that many people following you. I'll tell you this, though. If you're yourself, you're going to get a lot more people who are loyal to you. They'll send you the super chats, or they'll send you consultations, or they'll read your books, or whatever, whatever you're monetizing, however they're monetizing. But that's if you're legit. That's who you are. So psychology, no. Economics, no. Labor, yeah, if you like them, sure. Sales, fine. Talk about sales, data. None of these are theology, fitness, musician, comedian, van life. Comedian probably be the hardest one. No, comedian, musician. Those will be the hardest because you actually got to have some skills there. That's some means. Data analytics as well. Economics, you got to be research stat. Prepping, there's plenty of prepper people. The van life, theology, sure. It doesn't matter. As long as you want to do it, and I hate to say this word, but it's true in this one rare instance, if you're passionate about it, it'll show through. And the people will like that and they'll get excited. Don't get a PhD in this stuff. You don't need a PhD. Some of the best historians don't have degrees in history. They just read a lot of history. So yeah, but to be a thought leader, you don't want to you don't want to be a thought leader. You want to be a personality. That's why they call them radio personalities, television personalities. People like the personality. Certainly, if it's your expertise, become an expert and say, "Hey, did you notice this? Hey, did you notice that?" Don't let's not call this thought leader. There's no thought going on. There really isn't. There's either telling truth or coming back with lies that people want the most. There's no thinking going, except maybe to come up with more ways to come up with lies that people give you money. That's it. All right, last one. Contact question. I'm losing it. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.